services like WhatsApp and Facebook to be regulated. This has led to the Parliament's Telecommunications Committee to host hearings on the possible regulations.
The one obvious area that they will certainly go for is to have some kind of tax laws applied to these players so that any money that South African consumers spend on these services gets taxed. Now, that won't have a big impact on the consumer because WhatsApp, for example, makes no money from the consumer. So that'll probably be an easy one with little impact. But the next step to try to get the regulator to impose some kind of license on the WhatsApps and Skypes and so on is going to be very problematic because it means that they have to classify them as telecommunications operators or something similar to that.
Despite the hearings scheduled, it doesn't seem like the regulations will be practical in the South African context and what network operators will benefit from it.
Regulation is a bad thing where it prevents the consumer from exercising their right to manage their financial lives. In other words, the consumer is able to use WhatsApp, WeChat, and so on to cut the cost of their communication at a time when they're desperately looking for ways to cut costs. And by trying to regulate that and prevent the consumer from exercising that ability, the networks are operating in an anti-consumer way, and the regulator would be operating in an anti-consumer way. So it's unlikely that the regulator will have too much sympathy with that.
Facebook and WhatsApp have 12 and 10 million users respectively in South Africa, and some of those users are not happy with the idea of social networks being regulated.
Dealing with things. So
it's not a good idea that they want WhatsApp and Facebook regulated, especially because MTN is already benefiting from airtime.
I don't think it's a good idea to regulate. Reason being, like there are so many people who are using social networks.
I don't think regulations are a good thing because it will cost us more.
If the hearings by the Telecommunications Committee succeed in giving a go-ahead for OTT services like WhatsApp and Facebook to be regulated, it doesn't seem like they will receive enough support, with CERC coming out against it, calling it war on consumer interest. Zinhle Khumalo, ANN7, Midrand.
Right, my good friend Duncan McLeod from